Okay. All right, here we go. India versus Australia. Finally, we get to see some action because it's been raining almost all day. This ODI match almost turned into a T20 because only 26 overs were bowled at the end of
It's
the day or at
131.
the end of the first.
DLS target is
131 is the DLS target. So there we go. We know the target. Not far from what the end total what the total was. It was 136. So 131 is the target for Australia to chase in the next 26 overs. Will there be more rain, or will rain play spoil sport? Is something we have to wait and watch. But let's talk about the batting, because Rohit and Kohli, we were all waiting to see what they would bring to the table. The fans were eagerly waiting to see what Rohit and Kohli would bring to the table. At the end of the day, they failed to make any sort of mark. And when we talk about the rest of the batting lineup as well, a collapse ensued, tough conditions. But Shomik, let's start with you. Um, Overall, how do you look at India's performance? Because honestly, there were some tough conditions. If you look at the kind of bounce that the surface was giving, it was tough to adjust. And now then there was the rain to deal with as well.
Yeah, Gargi, if you ask me to assess overall batting performance, I'm not assessing at all because the stop-start thing, intermittent showers and everything, the Indian innings basically turned farcical. I mean, when you are going off after playing just 2 overs, then coming back and then going off after 2 overs, it is nigh on impossible for a batsman to concentrate. It is nigh on impossible for any batsman to get into a rhythm. So from that point of view, after the final stretch, the home stretch, when we had a decent period of play. India obviously was reduced to 26 overs a side contest, and India had to up the ante. And during that period, both Akshat Patel and KL Rahul played very well. But overall, I mean, you can say, I give you the example of Shreyash Iyer. You can say Shreyash Iyer, short ball stuff, blah blah blah. But think, he came, he took he took guard, he played a few deliveries, he went off, and then he came. How do you get into the rhythm such stop-start contest? It is very, very difficult. It is very, very, even at club level, I can tell you, even at club level, then this is what we are talking about, highest level. Even at club level, from our experience of playing club cricket, it is very, very difficult unless someone hasn't played the game at any level. He or she won't understand, because how difficult it is to refocus. So that is why I mean, not assess anything at all. This game, because of the rain, it turned into farcical. Rather, I would rather go into a different thing. For white ball matches, I'm not talking about test cricket. Test cricket is a different thing, where you need the conditions, the atmosphere, everything. In countries where the cricket boards have they have the financial power. I'm not talking about the West Indies, they cannot do that, or Zimbabwe, or they cannot do that. But India, England, Australia, certain stadiums should have roofs for white ball game. This is my observation. Maybe going ahead it will happen.
Bharat, there are a lot of questions here about the batting order. First is why Sundar ahead of Nitish. I know that there were a lot of questions about why KL Rahul was not, why Akshar Patel was sent ahead of KL Rahul. So, what do you think was going on behind the scenes?
First of all, the question was addressed to you. Anyway, if you want me to take it up, see, in my opinion, it didn't make much sense because, see, even in the IPL, Washington Sundar has struggled to finish the innings. And we saw in a T20I last year in Zimbabwe, India were chasing 120 odd. That too, he couldn't help India to cross the finish line. So he has a problem when it comes to finishing the innings. So I wouldn't have sent him. The only reason Indian management sent Washington Sundar is because he's a left-hander. They wanted a left-hand, right-hand combination going, which I think Gautam Gambhir is very much is someone who really supports that idea from what I understand. But having said that, Washington Sundar really struggles to finish innings. We have seen that in the IPL, and that is why even batting at number 7 or 8, in my humble opinion, doesn't make sense. If he has to really play in one day match, is to bat in top five, which obviously he can't. So I won't have really picked him because I don't think it makes much sense to bat him in the lower order, and Nitesh Reddy should have come up over him. But as he's a left-hander, Gautam Gambhir has sent him up because he wants a left-hand right-hand combination going. That's what I understand from certain people.
Shamik, what are your thoughts about this change up in the batting lineup? KL Rahul, Akshar Patel ahead of KL Rahul, is that something that you would have wanted to see? Honestly, to me, it does not make a lot of sense because at that point, I think KL Rahul would have done better instead of Akshar Patel. Not doubting Akshar Patel's abilities, but just going by KL Rahul's game, he would have steadied it for India a little bit.
Yeah, Gargi, the thing is that Akshat Patel is a mighty fine cricketer to start with. Number two is that Akshat Patel in this batting lineup has always been a floater. Whenever you see such situations, India losing three early wickets, you would see Akshat Patel coming into the match. That is his role in this batting lineup. He is a floater. If India would have had a smooth start, KL would have come. But and on also that point, I think Stark was bowling. Maybe the thought process was sending another a left hander. So that could be. But Akshar Patel's role in this batting lineup is that of a floater, and Indian team management sticking to that, and they will do that going ahead also. So that is how they have decided to use their batting lineup, and that's the way it is.
All right, taking some questions here. Lots of questions. Why was the score reduced because of the DLS method? Who was that? Who was that? No idea. Utkarsh is asking why has the score been reduced because of the DLS method. Not fully 50 overs were not played, and because of the rain, then it gets adjusted by a formula for it to be fair and equal for both teams. Okay. Mm,
It depends on resources, the resources you have. So India lost wickets right at the end. That is why, based on that, I think they've lost a few runs.
yes. Sports fan is saying, should we judge any player's performance on such surfaces, especially Roko, if Australia plan to dish out similar pitches for the entire series? Bharat?
Yeah, it was doing a bit. See, one has to understand it rained quite a bit, so there would have been some moisture. You can't prevent that, even if you bring in the best drainage facilities go around, state of the art drainage facilities. Still, there would be some moisture. So it nipped around a bit. And in Australia, in the last 1 year, they have prepared even for ODI cricket. They have prepared tracks which has done more. Actually, Pakistan won an ODI series in Australia after I don't know for how long, maybe 20 odd years, they won an ODI series in Australia last year because of that. So yes, it was doing a bit. I think Rohit Sharma in particular got a really good delivery. That was an excellent delivery with bounce and nip. I don't think he could have done much. Virat Kohli, yes, I think he maybe was a little rusty with that shot. He tried a cover drive, he was a little late on it. Maybe some other time when Kohli was in his prime, he might have played a square drive or on those lines. But nowadays, he doesn't play too many shots square or behind square of the wicket on the offside, the cut, the punch, or the square drive. So that is where I think he has an issue. But still, there are two more games to go, and they can get in. See, in Australia, there will be a little more bounce, so they have to get adjusted with regard to their muscle memory again. So maybe in the next couple of games, they will come good.
More questions here. Alphabet is asking, KL Rahul has become habitual of losing wicket at crucial moments. Just look at his stats. He always chokes at the end. Shomik, please take it away.
I refuse to take this question even. I mean, because of him, Indian. I mean, the whatever resurrection that happened, it was because of him and Akshay and the way he was batting. He had to up the ante. He was basically playing the slog overs, 26 overs game, and when India came back after the final rain break, the 6-7 overs left. What else would he do? This is, I mean, simply refuse to take this question.
All right. I think that's a good approach there from Shomik, because honestly, he's the highest scorer in the team. What do you mean he's choked at a crucial point? Anyway,
Yes.
let's move on. Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. I'm saying that the way he batted and the way he has been batting off late, he is one of the best batsmen in this Indian team, if not the best, across formats, the two formats he plays.
Absolutely. Aditya is asking a fair question here for anyone who might not understand the technicalities of the DLS. How can a system reduce the runs actually scored? Might not have been increased, but at least jitna bana hai, utna to hona chahiye minimum. Unfortunately, Aditya, that's not how it works, because the DLS method will calculate a revised target for the team that will bat in the second innings in a rain affected match. If that, it also what Bharat mentioned, the formula that adjusts the target based on the remaining resources of each team. Like he pointed out as well, that in the end, India also lost a lot of wickets, and Australia will have a full blown batting lineup to sort of I'm not sure how to explain this. Bharat, can you take this? Because DLS is something, it's not a formula that you can learn and sort of explain to
Uh,
anyone. But
Gargi,
anyway, for the yeah, Shamik.
yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. Gargi, I have my 2 cents as far as this question is concerned, and after that you can move on. See, for the last 30 years, nobody could decipher the formula of Messrs. Duckworth and Lewis. And we don't have Mr. Ramanujan with us. So it is something beyond us. If we could have cracked this code of Messrs. Duckworth and Lewis, I think we would have earned a Cambridge Fellowship.
I think I will add it in simple terms. I will try to make it simple. See, for example, if one team, X team, scores 130 for one in 26 overs, then maybe their runs could be increased by a few runs. That is because they have enough resources in hand. The DLS kind of calculates in 50 overs they would have gone on to score. If it was a 50-over match, they might have gone and scored more than 300 runs. But because India lost a lot of wickets here, so it would basically calculate that India doesn't have the resources. They only had one wicket left there. So on that basis, basically on 50-over game, they calculate it. So that is why India's runs got reduced.
And also, Gargi, I give you a bit of a backstory. Uh, am I going?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I give you a bit of a backstory as far as DLS is concerned. Before the 1992 World Cup, things and cricket used to be pretty simple. Like if you have played sort of 30 overs and you have scored, for example, 120 runs, then the opponents they had to score 131 in that 20 overs. Simple. At the 1992 World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, the organizers came up with a different formula calculating permutations and combinations. And what we ended up with was South Africa needing 22 runs of one delivery against England in the semi-final. So that was the genius. That was the genius we had been offered. And gradually, after that, this DLS came. There are other methods also. But if someone can clearly explain the whole mathematics of it, the whole mechanics of it, I would be very, very happy. I would be grateful. Nobody has been able to do that for the 30 years. And what we get uh, on the basis of some data or something, sometimes the score increases, sometimes it decreases. I mean, I don't know what I mean. I mean, it is so critical. It is so critical. Gargi's screen has even turned off.
It's still, I think, better than the old methods like just basic it on run rate. If one team scores 120 in 30 overs, then the rain comes, then the next team, based on just 4 runs per over, they have to score at the same rate. So I think it's at least better than that, but I don't know whether there is a better method than DLS. It is based on the amount of resources that you have. As I noted, if India had finished up on 130 for one, you would have calculated that in 50 overs, India would have got maybe more over 300 runs. Here they have lost 9 wickets. So it is calculating that over 50 overs, they wouldn't score too many runs.
I believe the break was just 15 minutes, right? I hope the players are not out.
They are out 9 for 0, Australia. Australia are already
Okay, there
9
we
for
go.
0.
All right, all
And
right. So we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be back at the end of the match. So we'll take all your questions then. I know that you have sent in a lot of questions, but we'll take them later because the match is on. We all need to go back and watch how this plays out. Thank you so much, Bharat and Shomik.
And before